Hello everybody and welcome to Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis, the site of Notre Dame's 30-14 win tonight over Purdue in the latest version of the Shamrock Series. Douglas, it wasn't the prettiest game. They come away with the win. What were your takeaways?
I keep looking at the scoreboard to see that it was 30-14 because this feels like a 10-point win at most, if not 3-7. So on that note, I was shocked by how sloppy they were. In the season opener, Kelly called it clean, and against Michigan, obviously 31-0, it was clean. But tonight, 7 penalties, some of them, what was Kelly's word? He had some great adjectives. Crazy penalties, such as not lining up with the ref, or you guys are shoemates taunting, which will be handled internally. But 7 penalties. First 2 games, it had 5 total. And then adding in that 4 sacks of Everett Golson, first 2 games, they had 2 total, as well as a turnover. This is the first turnover of the season. Those are mistakes you expect to see in the season opener or in a high-profile game like Michigan. You don't expect to see them against Purdue on essentially a home field.
And for the second straight week, the rushing game wasn't much of a factor. And when it was usually Everett Golson compared to the running backs.
Everett finished with 74 yards, 56 if you count sacks, compared to the next best being 32 from Cam McDaniel.
And last week, Notre Dame had 2.4 yards per rush. This week, less than...
from the primary 3 running backs.
Yes.
From the primary, yes. Excluding Everett.
Yeah. And then this week, less than 4 per carry. So that running game's not really going here at the beginning of the season. Brian Kelly talked about how the offensive line isn't really meshing yet at this point. You saw Connor Hanratty a couple times get pushed back. Steve Elmer still... Kelly talks about how he's playing like a guard at the tackle position. Right. So they're just kind of working through those things. And I think that's another benefit of the bye week. They have 2 weeks now where they can work through some of those kinks.
It is appreciated, and they're going to need it. What I was impressed by was how well, granted this is the 6th time Notre Dame has done a Shamrock Series, but the players don't let the NFL stadium, the change in uniforms, the change in location get to them. Jalen Smith couldn't have had a bigger smile on his face when he pointed out he's 5-0 in this building, having won 4 state titles here. They enjoy this, and that is impressive in my opinion, not letting that get to you, even as you're playing as sloppy and not having a worthwhile running game.
Sheldon Day also, he said this week he was 4-0 or 5-0 as a high school player here in the stadium, so another win for him, and certainly a good experience. Now, as Notre Dame refocuses to the bye week, Brian Kelly said that it's a good time for them to kind of take some time off, refocus a bit with all the injuries.
6 by my count on this sheet. Including today, Cole Luke neck, Nicky Barati's shoulder, and Amir Carlisle MCL.
And between the injuries in the secondary, plus Max Redfield's targeting, Kavari Russell with the academic investigation, Notre Dame was down 6 players in the defensive backfield at one point. And you saw some guys step up. Devin Butler had a play on that interception.
Yes.
Played pretty physical.
They needed that.
Yeah.
It was time for him to step, because if he doesn't, you're down to Nick Watkins, a true freshman who... great talent, but I don't think he's ready to be matched up one-on-one against any D1 receiver.
And Cody Riggs, one of the veteran players that is not hurt or not with the team right now, he said how this is good for them to face some adversity early in the season, get some of these young guys going. So some positives to take away. People are going to complain about 30-14 and how difficult it was, and certainly so. I mean, this is 3 straight years now that Purdue gave Notre Dame a really hard-fought battle.
5 of 6 years, really.
Yeah, really outside of 2011 when Notre Dame won at Purdue pretty handily, it's been a tough go against the Boilermakers, but I guess the good thing about that for Notre Dame is that they don't play Purdue till 2020, and the other team that seems to play up to Notre Dame is Pitt, and they only play them once every 3 years now in the ACC agreement. But
now, coming into the season, we heard Coach Kelly describe this as the first quarter of the season, get through these 3 games, and I think they're all pretty satisfied getting out of these 3 games 3-0, even if it was ugly or it preferably not, but with these injuries.
I think the big takeaway is they have 1 turnover in 3 games. Everett Golson has not turned the ball over in 3 games.
Compared to what, 11 touchdowns he's accounted for?
Yeah, I think 11 between passing and rushing. So there are good things to take in this bye week and the 3-0 record. So certainly the kind of start Notre Dame wanted. And we'll see how it goes with Syracuse and then, of course, Stanford the week after that, and things start to get going a bit in that October schedule. So
I think that about does it for us at blueandgold.com and Blue and Gold Illustrated. We'll be back in 2 weeks out in the Meadowlands for Notre Dame Syracuse, and that's the September 28th?
27th.
27th.
Yeah.
Till then, stay tuned to blueandgold.com for more information and more articles and more updates, and hopefully a conclusion to the academic investigation and injury updates.